Hey guys, it's Jeremy again. Welcome back to Turn Pages. Today I am going to be filming my series I want to start video. These are all, I have 18 overall series. 7 of them are adult series, the rest are YA, and 2 of them are middle grade. So we're just going to get into it. This first one is, we're going to go with YA first, just like in my standalones video. This first one I have had for like more than a year, almost 2 years, it feels like, almost. And I've wanted to read it, but everyone says I had to finish another series and you have to read 2 other books before you can get to this book because it'll like spoil things or whatever. That would be Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book of the Dark Artifices series. We are lucky, guys. If you don't know this, I've been meaning to mention this, but the last book of this series was supposed to be published in 2019 because the first book of the Last Hours trilogy was supposed to be published next year, but either Cassie changed her mind or the publisher was like, no, let's just finish out the series first. I don't know what happened, so I'm just happy that I don't have to wait too much longer for the last book. I think it's going to be in like either May or sometime next year, so this is definitely a series I want to hurry up and start reading because I want to. Everyone says this is Cassandra Clare's best work, and I need to jump on the series. I also have Lord of Shadows, which is the sequel to this one, so I have 2, and they're huge. Look at that. That is massive. It's better if you look. Yeah, it's over 650 something pages, but this is a kind of spin-off series to the Mortal Instruments series. It is set in Los Angeles in 2012, so this is set 5 years after the events of City of Heavenly Fire, and I am so ready for this. I'm so excited to see where all the Mortal Instruments characters are in here, but I want to read the Bane Chronicles and Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy first. So I am going to hopefully start reading the Bane Chronicles soon, because I want to get those out of the way before I jump onto this huge book. Alright, next book, and some of these are fantasy series. The first one I have is Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. This is the first book in a 6-book high fantasy series. This is basically about a world where we have 3 kingdoms that are all set in the world of a mythical land of Mythica, and basically this book has been very much considered Game of Thrones for YA readers. I'm not a big fan of Game of Thrones. If you don't know that by now, I've never even attempted the books. The books are so long and daunting, and I don't know if I would really like them. But I'm thinking about buying the first book for my Kindle and at least reading or trying to read some of it to see if maybe I could like it. I definitely don't like the show. No matter how much I may like the books in the future, I'll never touch the show with a 9-foot pole. But this follows a group of, I believe, the 4 main characters: Cleo, Jonas, Lucia, and Magnus. And it all follows their adventures and death and struggle and romance and craziness in this series. I was very disappointed that the last book to this series is not coming out in December like it was supposed to. I do not know why, don't know what happened with that, but it is now going to be it's now going to be coming out in February of next year. I'm really disappointed, but I have 5 of these books still to read before I'm ready for the final book. But I was waiting until the last book came out, that way I can just pick up this book and read this series with ease whenever I felt like it. I'm pretty sure I can still do that. You guys know it takes me forever to read books these days. So this is definitely a series I am most highly anticipating. Another series that I actually didn't really pop up in my head till just now is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. That is a series I also want to read because I have the first 6 books in that series. So Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas is another one. That's an honorable mention that I forgot to grab in here. The next one is a middle grade fantasy series. This is a series of 6 books. All of them are out, but I only have the first 5 because that's what I got in this box set. The first book is called The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer. This is the first book of the Land of Stories series. I cannot tell you how much I love the cover art and style of these books. The spines are really. I was saying this, and I may make a video of why middle grade books always have way better covers, why their stories are better than YA books really. I feel like, diversity isn't such a huge issue in middle grade. You have diversity, but it's not such a it's not a big enough deal in middle grade than it is in YA. It's a weird thing. But this is a series involving Alex and Connor, and it kind of takes fairy tales in this really magical world, and their father might be a villain that they didn't even know about. It sounds really fun. I have yet to buy the last book. I'm probably going to be doing that when I get paid again, because that way I can complete the series and own the entire series. And this series will be a really fun series to binge read. Yeah, so I have all of these. So it was in a box set that I bought last year, so I'm really excited. Next one, I'm going to try to speed through these because I don't want this video to be as long as my last one, and that is Eragon by Christopher Paolini. This is the first book of the Inheritance cycle. I love these covers. I liked the movie. I know that's going to change when I read the book because I know the book is like a million times different, but this looks like such a great story, and I'm really excited to read it. I don't really know synopsis very well. I bought these a few months ago, and then when my friends started talking up this book to me because she read it, she was like, "Oh my god, I didn't realize you got that. It's such a good book. You're gonna love it when you read it." And I was like, "Ooh," because when my best friend likes a book, I'm probably gonna love this as well. And I know that Sasha from A Book's Utopia raved about this when it came out, and that is These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. And this looks like a fantastic sci-fi series. This is part of a trilogy, the Starbound trilogy, and I have all three of these in hardback. I bought them a couple of months ago when I got my tax return back. But it follows three different couples, all fighting for something on all different planets, but they are all linked with this. They're all linked together by the same enemy, and like in the second book, you still see these two characters, but there are secondary characters and so on and so forth. So I can say that this is one time where a girl on a dress is actually gorgeous. I love the starry space aspect. It's just so pretty, and this series is available in paperback, but when I am not, this is by Disney Hyperion, and I do not like paperback when it comes to Disney Hyperion. The only books that I have is I didn't have a choice, so kind of thing. But this looks really great. It's split perspective between male and female swapping chapters. I love when books do that. I love that. It's my favorite way to explore stories, when it's in split perspective between like male and female. I love that. So I'm most excited to read this one. When I'm in the mood for something sci-fi, this is definitely going to be what I'm going to be reading. And I also am incredibly sorry that I forgot to include this in my standalones video, so honorable mention to two of Stephanie Meyer's adult novels, The Host and The Chemist. No, they're both standalone novels. They have nothing to do with one another. They're both on my list to read because I've never read them yet. But back to this now. Next one I have is The Young Elites by Marie Lu. Marie Lu has a brand new book out called Warcross, which I am totally getting that. Payday, that sounds so awesome. It's like video gamey and really, really awesome. And this is a fantasy series, kind of fantasy. It's like a futuristic fantasy kind of series where there's like this, there's like a blood war going on, and the survivors of that blood war were gifted with special powers. And this just looks really interesting because the hero of this series might also be the villain of the series. That's interesting. She's like she's like a protagonist, antagonist thing. But this looks really good. I bought this several years ago when I bought her Legend trilogy, which I was going to get rid of, but I changed my mind on it and kept them because I want to read everything Marie Lu because she's awesome. But this is the first book of the trilogy. I have yet to buy the other two, and I might treat myself for Christmas and buy the other two. That way I can do a binge read in January for this trilogy. And then my last middle grade recommend thing that I want to read is The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. This is the first book of the Magisterium series. The fourth book to this series came out on the 10th, 5 days ago. It's in the mail. It's in the mail. I've been putting this series off for the last several years because this came out in 2014. So, yeah, 4 years ago this came out. And now that the fourth book is out officially, I'm definitely going to be reading this series. This is a middle grade fantasy series, and I definitely want to read it. This is going to be a total of 5 books, so the last book in the series will be coming out sometime next year. I'm imagining in October, so it'll give me a year to read the first 4 books, and I think I can manage that in a year's time. So, and this is, a lot of people say this is like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, you know, House of Night Academy vibes, so really awesome. Ooh. You know, fix that so it doesn't fall over. The next one is another YA fantasy series. I have a lot, and that is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This is the first book of the Grishaverse series, or Grisha trilogy. It's magic, it's weird stuff, it's got really great writing, gorgeous chapter headers. I'm not going to get into the spew of this because I don't really know what this is about, and I'm terrible for not knowing that. And the next one is a book that I was going to get rid of as well, and I was like, you know what, let's give it a shot. You haven't even read them. Like, give the series a try. And that is The Eye of Mines by James Dashner. I also really want to read his Maze Runner series. I do really want to read it. It is overhyped, and I'm not really into it. I'm not really a dystopian person anymore. I read Hunger Games, and I really liked it, but I have some issues with the last book, but overall, I still really, really liked that series. And then I read the Craptastic series that was Divergent. I got rid of them because they're shit, and the first book was really good. The second book was okay. I think I would give it like a 3 stars. And the last book is shit, and a cop-out, and a slap in the face to every person who ever supported that series. I'm sorry. I am excited to read, and I forgot to mention that in this video as well, would be Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. I am, sorry, my nose was itchy. But anyway, getting off point here, this is like a video game centered kind of series. It's kind of like Ready Player One and Warcross. Both of those books we're getting YA books that that are like inspired by video games. I think that's freaking awesome, especially since the video game industry is such a huge thing these days. But this is the first book out of this entire series, and I bought this book on a whim. I bought this for my birthday years ago. I bought this book the day it came out. This book was published in 2013, so I've had this for years, and I need you to sit down and read it. It's like 300 pages, so it shouldn't take me too long. But I want to give James Dashner a chance to really be like a good author, and like I generally want to like his books. So I think I'm much more in terms. I think I'm gonna really like this. I'm really excited to read this, and I think I might move this to my October TBR pile. I don't do the till TBR thing. I was just saying something that, you know, whatever. And this video is going to be longer than my last one, sorry. The next one is my last YA fantasy book, and that is The Demon King by Cinda Williams Chima. I have this entire series because I bought the box set. I don't think I ever hauled these. If I did, and I am just forgetting, I apologize in advance. I have all 4 books of this series, plus the first 2 books of her Shattered Realm series, which is set in this world. Those books are, I think I forgot, I'm so sorry. Whatever, I'll probably mention them or show you guys them in a future video. I don't know what this is about, I just know it's about these 2 people in this huge fantasy world, and I suck at this, I'm sorry. But all of her books are quite large. Every book in this series I think is like 500 pages, right? 506 pages. Yeah, this is going to be a hunk to read, but I'm excited because she is one of the most renowned and respected YA fantasy writers. Like, people actually value her writing in YA fantasy because everybody just thinks that, you know, she does stuff that's not like what other YA fantasy writers do. You know, her world building is so well renowned and stuff. So I want to read all of her books. I did want that series in hardback, but you can't get it anymore because they weren't selling or whatever. My last YA series that I chose was the Shadow Falls series by Susie Hunter. The first book is called Born at Midnight, and this was a series I think I did haul. I think a year ago or maybe more. I got this whole series for under $50, all 5 books for under 50. I think it was like $35 for all 5 books. I think some of them were 8 books, some were 6, one was 7 or something like that. But this is about a teenage girl named Kylie who, a set of circumstances that was not her fault. Her parents basically sent her to this camp for troubled teens that's supposed to like help her and stuff. And then she ends up realizing that this is not what she thought it was going to be. It's just completely different, where there's vampires, werewolves, warlocks, magic, and 2 boys who love her. So a love triangle series, and I just love those. Judge me if you wish, but I really do like love triangle series because they always make everything so much better. At least for me, every series that has one I've generally enjoyed. Now we're going to go to the 7 or 8 adult series that I have, and I'm going to try to go these pretty quickly because I'm already at 16 minutes. But the first one I have is the Slant series by Colleen Hoover. This is about a girl named Lakin who moves with her mother to a town after her father has recently passed away, and then she meets this really great guy named Will, and they really hit it off, only for her to discover that he is her teacher at her high school. So this is YA range, but a lot of people have said that it is an adult novel just with young characters. And so this looks really good. I love the cover. I hate the cover of the last book, but this looks really good. This was Colleen's debut book, so this is the book I may end up starting to read because it's the one that I have a lot of interest in. And it's also her only book series. This is technically a trilogy, so there's this one. This one I honestly don't know what to think of, but I've wanted this series for so long, and that is the Dark Duet series by C.J. Roberts. The first book is called Captive in the Dark. Basically, this book is basically, in a nutshell, about human sex trafficking, which is scary as shit, and this is basically a book that basically tells you in detail of what happens if you are part of this horrible thing, and I'm really excited to read this. It's only like 200 pages, so I should be able to get through this fairly quickly whenever I pick it up. And then I have Fallen Too Far by Abby Glines. This is the first book of the Rosemary Beach series, but the Rosemary Beach series has 2 mini-series within this overall huge, like, I think there's like 20 books, I think, maybe there's like 15, I don't know. But this one consists of 3 books, hence why it's like a shorter series. The second 2 books are Never Too Far and Forever Too Far and Rush Too Far. So I really want to read this. It's like 220 pages, and I think I could get through this book in less than a day. It has really, yeah, so really, really excited to read that one as well. The next one is The Opportunist by Taryn Fisher. This is the first book of the Love Me With Lies series. You guys know my love of Taryn Fisher's book Mudvayne, so I'm really excited to read more of her work. And this is about a girl named Olivia who discovers that her ex-boyfriend Caleb has amnesia, and she uses a really terrible opportunity to get back with him. And since he has amnesia, he doesn't remember why they didn't work out in the first place. And this is a very much recommended series by a lot of you guys. So I own them, and I'll get to it at some point, hopefully. And this book I bought because of Hannah's channel, and that is Thoughtless by S.C. Stevens. This is the first book of the Thoughtless series, and this is basically a series that deals with cheating in a relationship and it's like really, really bad, and everybody has said that you are going to fall in love with it, and these books are huge. They're so long. It's one of the reasons I have not read this yet, because the size of this book is daunting to me. That's what she said. I'm an adult, okay? This book is 530 pages. It's kind of long, and the printing of this is rather small, so I'm still excited for this. This is a book I have also had for a while, and that is This Man by Jodi Ellen Malpaz. This is the first book of the This Man series, no longer trilogy, because the author has written a 4th installment which comes out in March. That's actually really exciting because it is all in Jesse's perspective, and I think that's interesting because I had actually read the first 50 pages of this. I literally stopped on page 50 when I first bought this, and I will eventually continue it. It has really, really low ratings all over Goodreads and Amazon, but a lot of people have even said this is like 1,000,000 times worse than 50 Shades. We'll see what I think of that one, but I'm still very excited to read this, and it looks like a really great series, and hopefully I will get to it soon. I said that with all of these series, though, so you never know what's going to happen, though. And then the last one of part of this video, and that is The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simmons. This is the first book of the Bronze Horseman trilogy. This is a huge 810-page epic novel set in Soviet Russia during the backdrop of World War II, and it zones in on this one family, and a lot of shit happens. That's just the common thing with all of these books. Shit happens. So, yes, and this is all the video things that I'm going to be doing for tonight. Tomorrow I will do all of the series that I want to continue, or either get caught up with that. So I'm going to be doing that video tomorrow. Hope you guys have enjoyed this rambly me show you all of these books and not say a damn thing about them because I don't remember the plot summaries, because once again I haven't read any one of these series yet. That's actually a lot, and that's not even all of them. There are so many other series that I own all of them that that I don't even have in here. One that's not finished, which would be Throne of Glass. I have the Summoner trilogy by Taran Matthew, The Novice. I must have forgot that one. That's a series I'm also very excited to read as well. And there's there's Consequences by Aletha Romick, which is a series that I have right there. I also want to read that as well. I didn't choose that one because I've already shown it in a couple of other videos. I'm only on chapter 5, and I'm not actually reading it right now. I read that like a year ago, so, and I'm going to have to reread all of that. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and say Consequences series by Aletha Romick as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Once again, just like I did in my previous video, out of all of the series I've shown in this video, let me know what books you would like me to, or what series would you like me to start reading first. Just something you should know, though, when it comes to series, when it comes to like adult and new adult, I might do individual reviews for those, but when it comes to YA, I will read the whole series first and then do a series review. So just because I read book 1 doesn't mean I'm going to immediately do a review talking about it, unless it is one of those books that I cannot get out of my head and I want to talk to you guys and recommend it to you. Then I might break my rule. But that's my new system of reviewing YA series. I will read the whole series no matter how many books there is going to be, and then after that I will review it in its own video. That way there's not so many videos in series for YA. When it comes to adult books and new adult, I will probably review all the books individually. This series, I'm not going to be waiting to finish it, because knowing me, these books are massive. This is the only one that's this long, though. But like, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for all of these. So once again, just let me know, out of all these series, which one would you like me to start reading so I can start it, finish it, and review it. Let me know down in the comments, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. There, bye.